We're live.
We are live. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, episode 3 of We Still Like Each Other, the podcast. And I'm just super excited. This week has been completely insane with just listening to everyone's opinion about our show and all the love. Like, it's been kind of surreal.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of DMs, just lots of love.
Lots of love. So do you want to give us a little bit of how much love have we been getting in the dataverse, the nerd version,
the Matrix?
Yes.
So on YouTube, we're currently at 69 subscribers. I didn't make that number
69 subscribers.
But episode 1 has over 350 views.
Okay.
Episode 2 has over 200 views.
Okay.
And then we're also on other platforms like Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple. Spotify has over 20 complete streams between both episodes.
Okay.
So a complete stream is
from beginning to end.
Beginning to end. You know, sometimes people will start something, stop it,
okay.
never get
I'm
back
still
to
happy. That's 20 streams.
SoundCloud has 90 complete streams.
Okay, SoundCloud.
And Apple Podcast has 242 complete streams.
You heard that? 242. That's a 3-digit number.
I was really surprised at that. Because you throw these things up on these platforms, just like you want to make it available to people, and then to actually see the data is pretty cool.
Yeah. And what's really cool is that I've gotten DMs about people who say, I've never listened to podcasts, like, oh, I love this. And then I have someone hit me up and said, I always listen to podcasts. So I even put on my coworker who also always listens to podcasts. So it's good to know that it's resonating with people new to podcasts and people who are, OGs or have a lot of experience with listening to podcasts. So that's like super exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We were out yesterday. I had to I went to go pick up a sneaker raffle that I won. You guys will hear me talk about sneakers a lot. And we bumped into a friend of mine. I would consider him a friend. His name is Leonardo. And he said, oh, I love the podcast. And I know it caught you by surprise because you were just kind of like in your phone in the car.
Yeah. So I'm in the car with the window down. I'm like singing songs because I like to like listen to songs with the lyrics and try to rap. And then I just look up. He's like, I love the podcast. I was like, oh my God. Like to bump into someone in person, right?
Yeah.
And how do you know him?
So I actually know him from my other podcast, I Hate So Boom.
Okay, so he's a listener from the other podcast.
I think he's a friend of someone. I'm not sure. I don't want to mess it up. But
okay.
Yeah, and he always shows support every week on that. And now he's come over here, so that's cool.
Okay, so even the sneakerheads from I Hate So Boom, the podcast, enjoy our podcast. So that's exciting. Yeah. All right, so we have an exciting lineup today. So we have basically, I think, 3 topics we're going to do. We have 2 segments that we want to repeat every week. So these segments have working titles. The titles may change, but the topic will remain the same. So in segment 1, so far the title we have is, oh, so y'all can relate. So in this segment is when we're going to share anonymous submissions from other people, from listeners, that they can relate to our previous topics, right? Or they might have, they might need some advice or want to share a relatable story with the rest of our listeners. So I'm going to get started with story number 1. And story number 1 is interesting because this is really good for our single listeners. So my question is, when you're dating, do you have like a checklist? Like, this person has to live on their own. This person has to have a college degree.
A car.
Like, do you have a list, right? And there's nothing wrong with having a list, setting expectations. But this listener wants to warn you about that list and how that list might hold you back, right? So this listener was dating this guy, and she assumed that he was college educated and that he was working for a reasonable salary just based on his intelligence, the way their conversations flowed. He even has stories about college. So she just assumed that he was college educated and made a decent salary. Turns out he never graduated college. He has stories about college because he went for a year but never graduated. And it turns out that even though she was only making about $60,000 at the time, she was making about 2.5 times his salary.
Okay.
So she says, had she asked during those first couple of dates, she probably would have written him off. How do you feel about that?
First thing that comes to mind is like, maybe not money, but you always do ask someone, what do you do for a living? And then the everything starts working from there. You're like, all right, I know how much a janitor may make, or so on and so forth. Yeah. I'm surprised that didn't click for her. I don't know what he does or did at the time. But yeah, I mean, it's
it could be that like maybe they did talk about what he did, but she just assumed it paid more. So eventually when she found out like how much he made and the fact that he wasn't college educated, she was already head over heels for this guy.
Okay.
Things were moving quickly. They were moving in together, and she was settling in with the fact that she was going to be providing more financially. She was okay with that. But she did say that from jump, his intelligence led her to believe that he made more. So she felt like that was also potential, right? So now it's been over 10 years. They are married, and he makes significantly more than she does now.
Okay.
And they both credit their current relationship to his growth, both as a man and professionally. So she says, keep an open mind when you're dating, and not to have such a strict list that you have to check off, and to be open to someone's potential, which I kind of agree
to a limit
and disagree
to an extent.
with.
I mean,
yes, I agree and disagree. So, for example, Travis is not college educated, right? But something I knew early on was you have a very strong work ethic, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't play about work. He didn't play about being late. He was always on time. He was early, actually. You didn't play about getting your sleep at night before work, like you weren't out in these streets. So that I was okay with. Okay, he's not college educated, but he has a strong work ethic, right? So saying someone has potential, you got to kind of still be realistic with like the type of person that they are, and not expect a miracle from that person.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because there's people out there who don't deserve that grace.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to like demean anyone, but there's just some people who don't have any drive, don't have any type of work ethic, who watch Maury every day. And if you know, Maury comes on at 10. So how are you home at 10 o'clock to watch? Yeah. It's a joke. But yeah, not everyone deserves that.
Yeah. And you can't enter a relationship expecting to change someone, right? So the fact that he was very smart and he was capable of all of these things, that doesn't necessarily mean that that person wants that.
Yeah.
Some people are content. So I feel like another part of it is paying attention to the red flags when you are trying to push your partner, and when you are trying to, push their potential and push them into the right direction to make more money, to become more educated or anything like that. Are they giving you pushback? And notice that early. Don't wait 10 years and say, oh, you've never improved your salary. Have you never done this? Well, I never told you that I wanted to do any of those things. You assume that. Mm-hmm. So yes, you could date someone who doesn't check all the boxes, but I feel like don't give it too much time before you realize if they aren't willing to work towards what you want and your expectations.
Yeah. The tough part with that is, like she said, she was so invested by the time she did start to put everything together. Mm-hmm. So it's like a double-edged sword. Like, you're so in love, but then what if she didn't see those things?
But I feel like since she was so in love, she was falling in love with like the potential. And he probably did show interest in progressing, like he wasn't content. Like, this is just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm curious, like, what are some of your must ask questions, you know? So if you do watch on YouTube, you could leave a comment, or you could just, you know, shoot us a DM. Like, what questions do you ask on those first few dates? What are deal breakers?
What did you ask me?
I don't think there was specifically any questions, but I did pick up on your work ethic and things like that. You know what's one big one? Kids. Like, I feel like we should have a whole discussion on that, like, at another time, about like dating when you have children.
Yeah.
All right.
We're back. Fuck flies.
So it might be a little pause in the.
You'll see a little cut because there was a fly bugging.
Yeah,
the
we
shit
were having a Mike Pence moment here. All right, so submission number 2 from our listener. They titled it "The Tea." LOL. My boyfriend and I met at work February of 2017. We started off as 2 co-workers who were both in toxic relationships with other people.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's, yeah.
We got close as co-workers and began confiding in each other and discussing our relationship with our partners. Within a month, we began to hang out outside of work as co-workers, but the chemistry quickly began to shift from just co-workers. We didn't cheat physically, but it felt like we were cheating emotionally.
That's worse.
You think that's worse? Why is that worse?
Because it's like, you've never heard like someone say like, oh, you slept with him, but did you kiss him? You know, like, it's so
those
intimate.
Those are weird ass people. Like, I don't agree with those sentiments.
Yeah, but catching feelings for someone can be worse.
But the reason I don't think it's worse, does it hurt? Is it sad? Yes. But that shows that there's a deeper problem in your relationship versus I'm just horny and I can't control myself and I'm going to have sexual relationships outside of my relationship. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it stings, but at least it's showing like, okay, something deeper is missing versus like, it's just sex.
Okay. I mean, shout out to them for respecting those boundaries.
Yeah. All right. So then the listener says, long story short, I knew he was in a relationship, but didn't know with who. Come to find out, his girlfriend at the time was a girl that we worked with.
Dun, dun, dun.
I was the new girl at work, so every other coworker knew they were an item, but me. So here I am getting emotionally invested in a guy who I'm also working with his girlfriend. My first thought was...
Are they working at a restaurant? This sounds like restaurant behavior.
Restaurant drama. No, it's not. But I'm also like, what the fuck? Like, there's no way that not everyone at the job is not going to know who my man is. So that's the first indicator that their relationship was rocky. Because granted, if you work with your partner, you got to keep it very... Platonic at work, you know. But still, especially if there's a new girl, I'm going to be like, oh, you saw my man? So that was already a sign there. So then her question and their debate over the past 4 years is, was it wrong that he didn't say, the girl, that's my girl, you know I have a girlfriend, she works here? Like, did he mess up in leaving that part out?
I say no.
Okay.
Just because, one, I mean, it worked out.
It worked out.
But it's possible that if he had told her, she would have said, you know what, this is too much drama for me. The potential drama.
Yeah.
So I think it was big of him to even inform her. Because as we know,
I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, as we know, not telling the truth about those things can lead to dangerous things. So he did take the leap of faith there.
Okay.
And I'm sure he knew it would eventually come out. But his plan was probably like, she'll be so smitten by the time she finds out, it won't be a big deal.
Yeah. So 4 years later, they are still together. So it all worked out. This kind of reminds me of the previous story just because it's like something you didn't know at first, but had you known, it could have changed everything.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of us tend to harp on the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Like, well, you should have done this or you should have done that. But it's like, those little things could have changed everything.
Mm-hmm. The whole trajectory
of the whole relationship. So sometimes it's like, you know what? It sucked at the time, but we gotta get over it, move on. It worked out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So the last also y'all can relate story is about money.
Ooh.
This one's kind of like, it was getting me hot reading it. All right. So very early on, we shared bank accounts. It was our money, but we both claimed that each other spent too much. I was making a bit less than him. We ended up getting separate bank accounts, just a joint savings. The savings was always broke or missing money, so we cut that out as well. Yeah. So just that, the fact that they had to separate accounts after they were together, I would say keep separate accounts until you get married, or at least engaged and living together. I don't know.
I don't think there's any formula that's like, this is the way, this is how it's going to work, because we joined accounts pretty early on.
But we already knew we were going to get engaged and get married. And it was like, I don't know. You just got to be careful. Like, I'm afraid to tell people like, yes, you have to join accounts, because some people are taken advantage of financially. And especially as women, you don't want to feel trapped and stuck, you know. So I would say, forget what we did.
Yeah.
Keep your own money until you are married.
And I also know married couples who are been together many years that separate accounts, it works for them.
See, I find that shit kind of crazy. And I agree, it could work for people, but I just couldn't fathom it in our relationship.
Like, I know someone who they have separate accounts, and it's like, oh, I want to do this. It's like, well, where's your money? Where's your half of the money? And yeah, I feel, I don't know. I don't know if I like it per se, but it works for them. So how can I say? It
works for them, yeah.
But then I also know that person's a big softie. So whereas, like, let's say his partner didn't have the full amount, he would just be like, here's the rest. So it kind of holds you accountable, but it's also like, it's kind of like fake. It's not really,
because it's like when you're married, it's all the same. It's all your money anyway.
Yeah.
I guess it could be good for like accountability, like reaching goals and like doing it independently of one another. Yeah, I guess it could work. Since it's never worked for us and we've always had our money together, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't think there's any set rules. Like, this is the way.
Yeah. But let's listen to the rest of this specific story. All right. So they got separate accounts. Fast forward to now having credit cards. It is never paid off. Our wedding did damage, but nonetheless, it never affected our checking, bills, or priorities. Okay, so at least they kept the roof over their head and food in the fridge. In the end, we used up Christmas bonuses, about $13,000, and tax money, $10,000, to pay off car, credit card, just anything that was affecting our credit. And we will work on the small items with our regular income. Sounds like a good plan. They're on track. Their credit is booming. But her husband has an obsession, a hobby.
Ooh, I like hobbies. What kind of hobby?
Ooh, she said like Travis, but his is a little more expensive. His is cars, detailing, and sound systems. I've accepted it because my obsession was purses, but my purses are from Aldo's. They're like under $50. His was mufflers and tints and sound systems, hundreds of dollars at a time. He once came to me all giddy and said, I found this very popular muffler that is usually expensive, and it's on resale. On sale. I'm like, cool, what's the price? This motherfucker said $1,300.
That's how she wrote it?
Yep, that's how she wrote it. In all caps. As in 1,300. He has the tendency of thinking because something is on sale that it's okay to spend that. Sound familiar?
You.
Me? I'm like, it's on sale. I need it. But nothing that expensive. I'm more so like H&M or J. Crew, or, I go into the Target clearance section. All right. So I tried to make him understand how a credit card purchase of that amount isn't logical for us, especially since we've been doing great. But he chose to buy it anyway.
Ooh, he said, fuck that.
That
fuck all
part
that
was like, I was like, ooh, I want to fight. I was rolling on my seat. So I feel like that's a purchase that of that amount should be more.
There's a conversation.
A conversation. There should come to an agreement before you just buy it. And I lost myself. But he chose to buy it anyway. This affected me big because this muffler can be hit in a car accident tomorrow, and then what? This muffler will not put money in our girl's future funds. This muffler will not have him working, will now have him working overtime anyway because he has to pay it back. So it's taking time away. Plus the interest on the credit card piles up, which is a point I made before. Like, you think it's on sale, but then you're paying interest on the credit card. So to sum up, it's still a problem to this day. They still have separate bank accounts. Each Christmas, they get between $13,000 and $15,000 in bonuses. Plus, they get significant tax refunds each year. So they should have been able to put a nice down payment on a house, but instead, they're always playing catch up and paying off consumer debt. She doesn't want to seem like she's a nagging wife and doesn't want to like pull him away from his hobby, but she doesn't know what to do.
There's a lot there.
There's a lot.
First off, I would say there's nothing wrong with hobbies.
Yes. But
everything in moderation. It also has to be healthy. It has to work around your current life situation. It's sad, but at some point you just have to be like, I can't afford this hobby. It's not conducive to my life or my family. It sounds like that's where they are. Yeah. Like, you just simply can't afford it. Maybe in the future, maybe, who knows what will happen career-wise, but right now it's not doing anything positive for your family. It's making you feel good, but you're potentially ruining your marriage in the process. Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough one.
So my suggestion was, you are a married couple. She loves this man. They have beautiful children together. It's money. It's not like there's no abuse, there's no disrespect, there's no cheating.
But so before you finish that, abuse isn't always I slap you in the face.
There's no physical abuse, but you could say there's a bit of some financial abuse going on. But my suggestion was to look at their marriage as forever. They're in their early 30s. You're going to be married another 30, 40, 50 years, God willing, right? So to take the next 2 years to buckle down, to pause the hobby, to save that down payment for a house, because you want to build generational wealth, right? If that's something that you want for your family, 2 years of sacrifice is going to be nothing in the bigger picture, right? You're going to look back on this 5 years later and be like, oh my God, I'm so happy that for 2 years we decided to just chill. I'm not getting my Aldo purses and you're not buying your motherfucking $1,300 mufflers, Like, it's a small sacrifice in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, and that reminded me of what we said. Like, we would get this lump sum of money. Like, you would sell a sneaker or you would do this, and it would be like, oh, thank God we needed to pay something off, versus like, oh, we could take a trip. We could do this, Like, imagine how nice it would be if that Christmas bonus came and there's no credit cards. You reached your goal that year of putting away money for your daughter's college funds. You contributed to your retirement fund, and now you just got $13,000, and your wife is like, babe, go do that thing you wanted to do with that car. Yeah. And there's no stress tied, because as much as he loves cars and car parts, I'm sure he doesn't love that he has to sneak or buy things behind his wife's back. I'm sure he doesn't love that tension that it brings into their house, right? So if you just sacrifice for a couple of years to be in a better place and to have your daughter's college funds automatically coming out your bank account, to even month to month be putting away for a car purchase at the end of the year, it'll just make life so much easier.
Yeah. it's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
I get it. I get it more than you would know. But it's also looking at the bigger picture. Like, it's even more so that you have children.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that it's okay that he goes against his wife's wishes, but like, think about your children, because eventually they're gonna need you financially. Like right now, it's all, they're young, they're on the younger end, but once they're thinking about college, do you really want to look at your children and say, I can't afford it because daddy was having fun? Or
you know what's even worse? We can't help you through college. And when you are married and you have your house and your family, you have to take care of us because we didn't financially prepare for retirement. I have a bad hip now and I can't work. I can't afford to just be retired.
Yeah.
That's what scares me. Even like, I don't want to be a burden on our children when we're older. I want to make sure that retirement fund is saved up so we could live independent lives and our kids could live their lives and we aren't burdens on them.
And we've spoken about this, like, our parents were unable to like pass down this generational wealth to us. But one thing we have to like count our blessings for is that our parents are healthy. Some of them are still working. Like, they can take care of themselves. Like, they're not a burden to us.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't say that. Some people have to bring their parents to live with them or, be their caregivers or pay for them to be taken care of.
We got to understand that our parents we're talking about first generation Americans, right? Yeah. We have a privilege that we can't fumble, like they had to struggle. The money that they made had to go X, Y, and Z, right? And I'm speaking generally, like everybody's situation is a little bit different, but we have this privilege of being second generation Americans or third generation Americans. That is a little bit different, that if I have to, in let's say 20 years, take care of my mom, I'm going to do it for her because she's my mother. She took care of me and her life experiences were a little bit different. But if Eli has to take care of me,
we fumbled.
I fumbled the bag. I fumbled my privilege and I did shit incorrectly. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little bit different. So every generation we're expecting to get better, and we can't say fuck it, scratch this generation. Hopefully my kids handle it. It's not fair.
I don't know. I don't want to get off that topic so quickly, but I just feel like a conversation needs to happen. Like a sit down, it doesn't have to be an ultimatum, but it's just the seriousness of the situation needs to be expressed to him.
And I feel like ultimatum isn't a terrible word, because when we spoke about our situation and how it wasn't easy and how we had the conversation over and over, I think a big part of it was I cannot live forever with you if this doesn't change.
Yeah. And to me, that was like, oh, no, what do we got to do?
Yeah, because if you are living forever with someone and every year after year you're having the same fight, no amount of love in the world is going to allow that situation to sustain long term. So if you love this person, you have to be willing to make changes, and that might sound harsh. That's why you be like, I don't want to say ultimatum, but honestly, at the end of the day, yeah, even if you don't use that language, you have to understand that your actions or your inactions are going to lead to consequences, Every year when this $13,000 comes in, I want to say, let's go to Disney World with the kids. I want to say, let's do something. Not, we're paying off credit cards.
Or thank God it came just in time.
Just in time, like that. Eventually, you're going to get tired of that shit. And it doesn't mean that you're thinking of leaving your man or leaving your wife. But you got to face reality at one point and say, like, if this doesn't happen, these are the potential consequences, And that doesn't make you a bad person, or it doesn't mean you're abandoning anyone. It's just being realistic, Yeah.
Best of luck to them.
No, best of luck. And, this is a couple that I feel the potential is there. The love is there. It's about discipline, getting disciplined with the spending.
And you said it earlier, but it's so hard to not imagine that this moment of our lives is the most important time of our lives. Like, I always wish I could go back to 18-year-old Travis and be like, nothing matters right now. Just do X, Y, and Z, and you're going to have the most fun when you're 30, 40.
But no, we met for a reason. Everything we did in our life prior to the day we met happened for a reason. Okay.
Okay. But seriously, like, it's hard to tell this man these car parts, everything car related is not going to make you, it's not the most important thing right now.
Yeah.
But if you can just hold out for 2 to 3 years and see what you can elevate your family and see how that makes you feel over this.
And then you could maybe have a house with a garage
that you turn into your
workshop. That is your
workshop,
right? You know, so your passion isn't crippling your family.
Yeah.
You know, also, you said it's not going to be easy. A big part of that is like who your friends are, what pages you follow.
Like I said before, you know, like social media is a diet, or you have to consume it like a diet. Like, if you know you love cars and you kind of have a problem right now, maybe let me unfollow a few pages,
car pages
while I'm on this journey.
Or is my buddy who's also into cars, does he have more income than me and I'm trying to keep up with him? Does he not have a family that he has to support and I'm trying to keep up with him?
Or do you, like, he's in the process of getting a divorce because of all these. So, you know, you never know what's going on.
So be careful who you're trying to keep up with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just go for car parts. It goes for any hobby, I think.
Okay. All right. So let's end that segment of, so y'all can relate. And we're going to get into a personal topic now.
Yeah.
So, this week's topic is being in a heterosexual relationship with a bisexual person. So, are you ready to come out, Travis? So, yeah, we were talking about this, and it's kind of like my coming out video almost, because I'm in a heterosexual relationship and I'm a cis woman. I present very feminine. People just assume that I'm a heterosexual woman, so it feels like I'm coming out to many people. Like, my close friends and family, they all know I'm a bisexual woman, but you know, just because of how I present to the world, it's assumed that I'm just straight.
And it's never been a secret.
No, it's never been a secret.
It's just,
but it'll probably be like surprising to some people just because the assumption is just there.
Yeah.
So yeah, how has this experience been for you, dating, being married to a bisexual woman?
In the beginning, I won't lie, like any other man, I was excited. I was like, oh, she's bisexual. She likes girls too, and yeah, it was just like I was proud to say that fact about you.
Because you wanted to have threesomes.
I was thinking about all the threesomes. But, you know, as we've been together longer, it's just like a thing about, it's not even something I think about. Mm-hmm. And maybe I even take for granted because, you know, we'll be like walking down the street and like, you know, whereas most women will probably like slap their guy if they're looking at a fat ass. You'll probably point out
yo, babe.
So there's definitely ups. There's no negatives. There's just positives to it. Like,
there was some jealousy in the beginning.
There was some jealousy. You're gonna tell it, or you're more accurate with these stories.
So one of my best friends in the whole wide world is actually a person that I kind of dated before. They're a non-binary person now. At the time, it was like an ex of mine that became a very close friend. I always appreciated their friendship because it never felt like a friendship out of convenience. I always tell you this, like, they would always like make the effort to be in my life, to be there.
That's like the biggest thing you want in a friend.
In a friend.
It's like someone who doesn't make you feel like like a burden.
Like a burden.
They're actually putting in work. Like I always say, like a real friendship, you both have to put in the work into friendship. It's not just because we've known each other.
And it's not that we were talking every single day, you know. They moved around the country a lot, and no matter what, we kept in touch and we were really good friends. Yeah. But it always was that, like, seriously, there was no like funny business once whatever we had going on was done. But when I introduced you to them,
so I was introduced to them, and I didn't feel any way about being introduced to them. I was like, all right, cool. I already knew the backstory.
Yeah.
And then I think we went to a restaurant / like lounge, and I remember sitting there all cool, said hi to everyone, and then at one point I think can I just say their name?
Yeah, you can say their name.
So T, I love you, T. T went to the bathroom, and you're like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom too. Yeah. And me being jealous or just not having a full understanding of the relationship was like, what the fuck? In my head, I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? I was livid.
But at this point, it had been years since anything happened between T and I, and we were just really close friends. And, you know, at the time, girls just go to the bathroom together. Yeah. Like, that's just something that happens.
Me, like, I at that time, I had no experience being in a serious relationship with someone who was bisexual. I didn't know what the hell to think. I'm thinking, oh, they went to the bathroom. They're probably kikiing, you know, little makeout session. I don't know. I don't know where my mind was. I just remember I got super pissed off, and it basically ruined the night because I don't remember how I conveyed it to you that I was angry that you went to the bathroom, but it just spiraled. Yeah. And it led to a big argument, not a conversation.
Not a conversation.
It was an argument.
Yeah.
That we eventually got over.
Yeah. And T is one of our best friends now. It's nothing but love.
To say like that's a best friend is like an understatement. Like that's like
family.
Top 5 favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
I love them so much. And it's crazy to say that. To think about that night to where we are now. Like when they call, I'm excited. Like we could stay on FaceTime with them for an hour and just lose track of time. Like I love you, T.
Yeah, we love you, T.
But you being bisexual, it never, besides that moment, it was just like, okay, your eyes are brown and you're bisexual is just another thing about you.
Another thing. Talking about bringing it back to threesomes. So Travis and I, he's sweating. Travis and I have been open to like introducing a third into our relationship in the past, right? It's never worked.
We tried twice.
Well, we didn't. So this is the thing. We've always said we don't want to be trying.
So let's be honest. The first one, I feel like we were pretty thirsty in the sense that we were like looking.
Like looking for a person or that girl we were like interested in and trying to make it happen.
Looking for a person.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember it that way.
I feel like the first person we were pretty, for lack of a better word, thirsty.
Okay.
And we...
For a relationship or for like to have some fun?
Probably to have some fun. And then we would hope...
That seems a little more like
we were hoping that maybe it would turn into something like what we kind of originally spoke about.
Okay. But then that proved why we don't want to actively search for anyone.
Because it was forced. And long story short, the person was more interested in Stephanie, which why wouldn't you be? And we were forcing something on them that they weren't ready for or wanted. So we parted ways. Yeah. And we're I would say we're still cool with that person. We're cordial. Nothing but respect for that person. And then the second one was more organic, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Way more organic. It was like something that wasn't even on our radar. It was 3 to 4 years after we had tried the first time. Yeah. And that one unfortunately failed just to bad timing.
Yeah, it was definitely bad timing. It kind of just all fell into place because it was like a woman that I had a crush on for like years and years, but that I always, like myself, just assumed she was a heterosexual woman, straight woman.
Never assume.
Now, yeah, it's so hard. I just didn't think. I always thought she was like, she's beautiful, so I thought she was out of my league. Like, I never thought to like even mention that I had a crush on her. And then one day we were talking a lot, and I kind of mentioned it, like, girl, I used to crush on you, blah blah blah. And then she goes, bitch, what? I always had a crush on you. So we both had crushes on each other and kind of never said anything. Yeah. Like, you know, but again, our paths never aligned in a way that it would have worked anyway.
Yeah.
So then I told Travis about it. I'm like, yo, like this girl, da da da. And we just started hanging out as friends. And then one day she told me, like, Stephanie, I think I have a crush on Travis. Travis is like sweating. He's embarrassed right now.
I'm not embarrassed. It's just it's funny letting people in on this part
this kind of stuff, because then everybody's like, oh, these freaks, they're fucking weird.
And it's not something we are actively looking at. I would just say we're more open to it, but we're not.
Are you still open to it?
Am I still open to it? I feel like if it happened like the last one organically, I'd be open to it. I don't want to like get on an app and
oh no, I would never do that.
I don't want to like search.
Nothing against with people on apps. I just think that for us as like a married couple to be like seeking a third on an app, seeking sister. Oh my God, that show. We gotta talk about that show. Like, that's just something that we wouldn't do. It would have to happen organically. Yeah. But yes, she had a crush on Travis. I was like, go for it, like whatever. But the timing was horrible.
Yeah, you had just started school again.
I had just started my master's program. We had just started our debt-free like plan.
Yeah.
So we were gonna be on a strict budget, and I was gonna be working full-time at the school. I was gonna be working part-time at the restaurant, and I was gonna be taking classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like it wasn't the right time.
It didn't make any sense. Like,
it didn't make sense.
The point is for us to, like, you do something, the things that Stephanie was taking on, you do when you're in an established relationship. You already have this bond, but you don't start something new when you're going to be spending so much time away from that person. So yeah, it was you know, I can't deny, like I was a little insecure of like being away all this time, and then you two only building a relationship, and then it just wasn't the right time. Yeah, I'm surprised you said you were open to it, because I thought last we spoke you were like, no, I don't want to do that shit, like it's just not happening. Like I said, I do feel that way. If it was organic,
if it just happened,
I would be open to it, but I don't want to sit on the couch swiping right for hours.
For girls. Yeah, no. Why would you want a relationship like that?
I know it's like something we've discussed in the past. Just, I don't know. You being bisexual, it's not that I can't give you everything you want. I think I check all the boxes.
Yeah, for you. That's another misconception. Just because I'm bisexual, it's not that I crave both a man and a woman at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing about us in our relationship or our sex life that I'm ever like, oh, if only I had a pussy right now.
If we had someone holding the camera for us.
No, that's a misconception, and I don't want anybody to feel like that's what I'm seeking.
Yeah, it's definitely
like a third in our relationship.
I'd be lying if I said like this. Obviously, the sex is different.
Okay, yeah.
It's not necessary, but it's just different.
It's different.
It was fun. Mm-hmm. Great stories to tell. Mm-hmm. But it's not necessary. Like, after having it, after experiencing it, it's not necessary. It doesn't take away anything from what we have, what we do.
Yeah.
I think it just adds to a relationship, especially if it's done in a healthy way with a healthy person. Like, you're just adding. It's like think about the financial part,
Mm-hmm.
the just the conversations. Like you have another hopefully brilliant mind to work things out with.
To have conversations
with. So yeah, that was what interested me about it when we first discussed it. And it's still something would be cool with the right person, I think. But like I said, not looking. This isn't like a commercial for like the next
come into our DMs. No, yeah, I agree. I was just having a conversation with someone the other day about how like modern society isn't built for modern society, like in terms of money and finances. Like, you know, the 40-hour work week, it made sense when there was always someone at home taking care of the home, raising the children. Now it's like both partners are always at work, and then you're still expected to also have a clean house and to also have children that are well-rounded and learn in school and at home. It's just too many things we're expected to do while working full-time jobs. So the idea of having a third person in our relationship will kind of like help spread around all of the task, you know, in a sense. Definitely like emotional support. Two moms in a household, like moms were the shit. So like I always thought that would be really nice. And it's also like we consider ourselves best friends, but there's still something about having a female best friend that like I appreciate. And like you know, I grew up with mad sisters in the house. Like there's something about like, you know, someone who could help me with my hair or like those kind of things that like would be nice. And back on the sex, like I feel like people think like it would be like nonstop threesomes and like this crazy kinky like crazy life, but realistically I feel like it'd probably be like two of us pairing off to have sex at different times, and then like the occasional like threesomes. Travis is embarrassed. Why are you embarrassed?
Because it was funny at one point. Like, I don't know if I could say this, but at one point you two were impressed with how much I was keeping up.
Okay.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Like, I had a lot of stamina.
That was when it was, you know, super the beginning. Yeah. The like thirst, the lust was intense in the beginning. But I do also remember like when y'all first had sex, like without me, it was like, are you okay? Like, we had sex. Is that okay? I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Oh my God.
I was like, good. I needed a break.
I could see the jaws on the floor right
Everybody, now. Oh my God. We said a lot more than we intended to say.
I didn't think we were going to go this deep. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not embarrassed. Like, it's only a thing because it's like
oh my God, our parents definitely watch this podcast.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with my mother and she's like, oh, I can't wait for this new episode. I'm like,
sorry, Mom and Dad.
But yeah, back to the main topic or the main point.
Okay.
I'm married to a bisexual woman.
Yeah.
And it's just another thing about her that I love and appreciate, and never any negatives about that. It's just, if anything, it adds, like I said before.
Yeah. And I do want to add that my bisexuality is part of my queerness and is a part of a bigger community. And one thing that's been big in our relationship is like, I wasn't going to allow him to fetishize my bisexuality, but then be homophobic towards gay men or trans people or have any transphobia. Like, that's one thing I don't play with. Like, there's some people who could laugh about like homosexual jokes or transsexual jokes or some shit like that. Like, I hold Travis to higher standards. So he appreciates me and the bigger community that I'm a part of, and not just, oh, I get to have threesomes with my wife.
Yeah. So I am from West Indian descent. My mother's Jamaican. My father's Grenadian. Anyone from those cultures or communities know that gayness is a no-no. It might, I don't know if it's getting better.
Yeah.
I haven't done much research lately, But it's just like, it's bad. So I had to unlearn a lot of the things I've heard, not seen. I'll just say heard. And just make my own decision, like make my own mind up for certain people. And if you're just judging people based off of who they are, it's way easier to just live a life where you're not hating people. Like some of our closest friends are people who fall in line with the LGBTQ plus, and that's like the last thing about them to me that matters. It's like their character. Individuals. Like we just went out for a friend. We celebrated his birthday. He's a gay black man. And
all the guests there were gay black men, like except you and me. I was the only woman there.
And I didn't think any different than if it were a bunch of heterosexual people.
Yeah, it's not like he was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have come to this dinner.
We took group pictures. I got my hand up on the waist, like. So it's not anything I think about. And like I said, it was unlearned behavior.
And that's okay, because no one's born woke and knowing everything, and a lot of who we are, especially as young adults, is based on what was projected on us and what was taught to us by our family, by the TV we consumed. So it's okay to be a grown-ass adult and say, this way of thinking is fucked up and I can change it. It's different when you're stuck in your ways. Like, this is just how I am, right? Like I had a conversation with someone in our family about the Little Nas X drama. Like when Little Nas X made out with a man on stage at the BET Awards, this person in our family admitted, like, it genuinely makes me feel uncomfortable because of the way I was raised. I would never like beat someone up for saying that, she's acknowledging that because of her upbringing, she also mentioned, we never saw gay men kissing on TV, not even in the street. It was just like something we knew existed, but we never saw it. So it makes me uncomfortable, but what I hate is when people try to change the narrative and make it seem like they don't like it because, kids are watching. Why are your kids watching BET at 9 o'clock at night?
So on the topic of kids watching, right? I have no problem if that's the argument. If you saying I don't want my kids seeing like over-sexualized content,
yeah.
I have no issue with that. But keep that same energy for heterosexual sexualized content, because you are not writing your congressman when you see any man and woman doing sexual things on TV, or your kids are watching these music videos with a heterosexual man and women.
All these little girls are doing the Savage Challenge.
So just keep that same energy. If there's someone out there who keeps that same energy for heterosexual over sexualization and gay sexualization, then kudos to you. But don't only want to be up in arms when it's a gay man or a gay woman. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we got to understand, like, Little Nas X is doing something we're not used to seeing. We're not used to doing. That doesn't make it wrong. It's like about time. These people exist. Why do they have to not exist on media, on major television platforms? We were just talking about T. They are a non-binary person, right? A few years ago when we were in college, they were like, I'm not a trans man. Like, I know I'm a woman, but I'm not a man. Masculine presenting lesbian. Because at the time, that's the only thing they had to express how they felt. There was no representation on non-binary people, right? So how could she name what they were at the time if it didn't exist, if they didn't see it, right? Yeah. So representation is so important. It doesn't mean that, now because there's these pronouns, they became they because it was pushed on them. No, it was like,
this is what I've been feeling
forever.
This
is what I've been feeling, and it comes out. So Little Nas X making out with men is not going to make anyone gay.
And that's crazy to say, because you're also implying that being gay is learned behavior.
It's learned behavior.
Which
literally all gay people saw their whole life was heterosexual behavior, and they're still gay. So if it was a learned behavior, like what? You get what I'm saying? Like it makes no sense. But yeah, we just went in a whole different tangent.
Yeah. I feel like it'll, like I said, these are things that are a part of our lives. It's gonna come up in things we talk about. Yeah. And it won't be the last time you hear about it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So our last segment. So we have another segment with a working title. And what we want to do is stories we see on the internet regarding relationships. We kind of want to talk about them on our show and put our 2 cents in. So the working title right now is Internet Love, but I hate it. So when we come up with a better title.
Or if you have a better title.
If you have a better title. So basically we're going to find articles, we're going to find TikToks or Reels or Instagram posts or whatever that tells stories. And we're going to share them with you and put our 2 cents. So the one we're going to share today is a CNN article. And the title is 3 women said they found out they had the same cheating boyfriend. So they converted a school bus and went on a road trip.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't Travis. So I'm going to read a little bit of the article. Becca, Abby, and Morgan have a lot in common. They describe themselves as free-spirited adventurers and fearless risk-takers, all obsessed with music and the movie Megamind. They say they also unknowingly had the same boyfriend at the same time. Following their discovery, rather than succumbing to their sadness, the 3 young women said they dumped him, saved up money, purchased a school bus, and spent over 2 months renovating it. On June 25th, the trio took their 30-year-old bus, which they renamed the BAM bus after their initials, on a road trip across the western United States and into the next chapter of their lives. So first of all, I want to say Becca, Abby, and Morgan, good for y'all. That shit is fire.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's cool. I'm all for the girl power. I don't know.
I love this story so much because
you always tell me this, yeah.
A lot of the time, women will beat each other up physically over men. And then the whole time, take the guy back. So the person who actually owed you the respect, the person who cheated on you, you give them another chance. But the woman that they cheated with, you act like they're the scum of the earth and want to make their life hell, which makes no sense. They're a victim just like you.
Yeah.
You know, there are exceptions if like the woman was like your best friend or your sister, like of course. But most of the time, it's a bitch who owes you nothing.
Yeah.
And then instead, you're here giving up the pussy again to this cheating ass man and then making the other girl's life a living hell. So I absolutely love that. It kind of reminds me a little bit about how me and your ex like spent the whole night together. Like we didn't curse each other out. Like I know she used to talk shit about me to you, but you know, she never disrespected me to my face.
Yeah.
And we were, you know, friendly. You were the
antagonist.
Yeah. I currently know someone dealing with a situation where she was like the other woman, kind of, or whatever. And the girl took the guy back.
Well, give it a little more story, because I know what you're talking about. She wasn't the other woman. She started dating a person who had recently ended a relationship with someone she knew, not a friend. Just she knew
the girl,
and eventually, you know, the guy was saying all the right things. For whatever reason, it didn't work out between her and the guy. And then he went back to his ex. Now the ex
is taking pictures of her with the guy and sending it to the other girl,
just like
antagonizing her, to the point where the girl's friends have even messaged like hateful shit, like
well, you could say like kill yourself. Like what? In 2021, we should all know better than to harass people and especially pushing suicidal thoughts onto people. Like if it were me, I would have been screenshotting, I would have been emailing their bosses, their schools, everything, because that's something we don't play with. So
to our listeners out there, like if you have younger siblings, like people in their early 20s, college, high school, talk to them about shit like this. Like that's bullying to the max, you know, like don't ever do that. But to bring it back to this topic was how I hate that. Like when the women go against each other, when it's the guy who owed you respect, you know, like she didn't owe you shit. And it's worse when you take back the guy. But this woman is like the Antichrist. Like, I hate that shit. So
that's whack.
So big ups to
the BAM bus.
To the BAM bus. Because that shit is genius. You know, they said, I'm not going to stress this guy. We're going to. And I like it because it was like a way for them to get over him. You know, like let's keep ourselves busy so we don't give this ain't shit ass person a try again. The last one that I wanted to talk about, there was this TikTok, but it's on Instagram. And it basically said, is this couple, they've been married for 21 years. But when they met, they were both engaged to other people. So when they met, they were both engaged to other people. Hold on. They realized they were actually meant for each other. So they got engaged and got married after only knowing each other for 2 weeks.
Damn, they beat us.
So that is bananas.
I'm here for it.
You know, now they've been together 21 years. But if you had a friend right now that was engaged to someone, let's say they had been dating for a while, and then they say, you know what? No, I just met someone else. I met someone else at Target and I want to marry them. What? Yeah, next week. Or come to the wedding. We just met last week. The wedding's next week. Like, what would you say to that person?
You jokingly say you would have married me pretty early.
Yeah.
I mean, no, not jokingly. Seriously.
Yeah, I would
have married me early. So we just don't know what those people are feeling. We don't know what type of communication skills these people have. Like, they could have like gotten deep pretty early on and just like, all right, yep, this is it. Handshake. Let's get it.
Oh my God. But both of them were engaged previously. Like,
I feel like I would need more details. How long were you engaged? Because some people would be like forever engaged, and there's you know.
I looked into the couple like a little tiny bit, and it does seem like they're like religious. So I feel like maybe the marriage part was like, if we're gonna date, we gotta get married. We can fuck. Pretty much, maybe. I don't know like if they were saving themselves for marriage, religious, but maybe like, okay, we're ready. We're at a certain age. Like if we're gonna end our engagements to get together, it's because we're gonna be together. This isn't like I'm ending an engagement
to start dating.
Start dating. Like, we doing this or what? So I could kind of see that too.
I fucks with it.
Right?
Yeah.
And it worked. They've been married 21 years.
I'm here for it. I mean, people even, definitely not 2 weeks fast, but even how fast we got married, it was like, what's the rush? Everyone swore she was pregnant or something, but it was just like how we felt.
Even at the wedding, I won't mention names, but people were like, why so fast?
Yeah. And going on 6 years, still rocking out. So
we just knew.
Before we wrap up, I forgot to mention it in the beginning. We got a review on Apple Podcasts, and apologize if I butchered the name, but it's Ambi17, 3 Ys. They gave us a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
And the headline is Raw and Relatable.
Ooh.
It says, I love the rawness of these first 2 episodes. I love getting dinner with new people and hearing their story. And that's exactly the way this podcast felt. I'm looking forward to more episodes. P.S. I discovered your podcast through Britt Polanco, actually, so it's cool that she helped influence your financial journey.
Oh, see, and I'm hearing this for the first time. Cool. I like that.
Another one on Apple Podcasts was 5 out of 5. Great. Love the realness and relatable stories.
See,
so this is just on Apple Podcasts. I know people have been leaving comments on YouTube and stuff, but
That's another thing. Listen, y'all love, we've been getting so much love and I appreciate it. But y'all know damn well these white people podcasts and these white people YouTube channels, they're always like, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We don't want to annoy y'all with that all the time, but that shit matters, you know?
Analytics are important.
The analytics are important. So if y'all want us to be successful, y'all want us to keep creating, y'all got to help us out, you know? Because we really don't even know how those analytics work yet. We just know the way the white people be pushing it on the YouTube channel every day. That is important. We gonna learn why they keep saying hit the like button and subscribe and turn on the notifications. We gonna figure it out, but we know it matters, so do it.
Yeah. So,
any last words?
Do you still like me?
I still like you.
I still like you too.
Love you.
Love you too.